This PHC wrap-up show from the 2022 NCHA Metallic Cat Futurity is proudly presented by Foresight.
Hi everybody, Mark Michaels here, joined again with Mr. Tim Smith. We are on day 9 of 27 of the NCHA Metallic Cat Futurity. We just wrapped up the Open second go-around. Tim, what a show it's been so far.
It's been good, and like we thought it would, the cutting really started in the second go-around. Everybody kind of called on them horses, and we saw some really good runs as they realized what the bubble was going to be, 433.5, just like last year.
Yep.
But as them last two sets, they come showing, and it was good watching today.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier off camera, we were talking, and as it got down to this final day, those last few sets, you could really see that this cutting changed a little bit.
Yes, it did, most definitely, and the guys were just being more aggressive. You had to have two good scores, and there was a lot of 17s that came back with 18s, 19s, 20s, 15s that added 20s to it. We had some big runs, and it was good to see. They really showed them colts strong.
Yeah, and nobody better than Mr. Consistent, Kenny Platt on counting. The I'm counting checks out of Suso Smart, owned by Robert Tregemba. A pair of 222s, first go and second go. I tell you what, that second go round, I don't know if Kenny thought it was paying go round money. But he looked like he was going for it all.
Well, as we said the other day, Kenny is not afraid, and he likes to win first, and that is a very, very trained horse, and he's got a lot of confidence in his horses and a lot of confidence in himself, and he's going to be hard to get around. He's going to be there when the money's paid out at the end, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I was talking to Bob Tregemba, and he said, that's kind of their game plan, and him and Kenny have talked about this at depth. He says, look, we're not going to go just mark whatever we need to mark. We're going to show that horse just like we do every day, and that's kind of the game plan they had coming in, and it worked out. Yeah.
And it's an amazing animal, and he really resembles his father. He really looks like I'm counting checks, and Suso Smart, of course, is a daughter of Murata's Little Sue, and by WR, I mean, she herself is a very, very good mare, but she certainly stamps Dr. Suish and this horse as two of her great offspring. I mean, it's fun watching. Yeah,
and Kenny also advanced his other horse, Roasting, Hottish out of Betty Grable, owned and bred by Linda Holmes, another long-time customer of his. Showing his consistency once again there. The bubble, 433.5, like we mentioned, took 3 extras this time, so that's what we have in there. And in the intermediate and in the limited, Uptown Funk, Tyler Merrill. Boy, he was consistent throughout the rounds as well. A 222 and a 219 for a 441 total.
Yes, very good horse. I believe he was the second high horse in the whole deal behind Kenny, and a very good horse. And again, Tyler is Cool Hand Luke. I mean, he does not get excited. He showed that horse very clean, very strong, and a very, very nice horse.
Yeah. And then let's talk about Austin Shepard. He, him and Kittenish, they led the round the first go, pretty commanding. Had a little rough start to their run today.
Yes, very. I was setting behind when he showed her today, and the one thing about this second go-around, Mark, and it doesn't matter if you're Austin Shepard or somebody at their first futurity, when you sit there for 3 days and you see things go wrong and you see things go right and you've got that big score, it starts to play with your mind a little bit. I don't care how much money you've won, and that mare was a little on her toes today. The first cow really didn't get a hold of her, and he came through with a 213. He has plenty of points to advance, but she showed her ability as the run went on. She settled in, and it was darn sure good, and she's certainly one of the contenders, but it was a little rough, and they gave him what he had coming.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you the experience that Austin has. I mean, he came out, he knew he was behind the 8 ball coming out on that first cow. Things weren't quite going right. He came back, he kind of regrouped, and then all of a sudden it was like the light came on.
Right.
That mare, I mean, she was phenomenal on the second cow.
Yeah, second cow was outstanding, and he finished really good on a soft third cow. But, when he quit that first cow and he turned around again, I was sitting behind him, and he does what he always does. He tucked his shirt in and kind of looked for his cows and took a breath, and he walked in there and cut another one in the middle and got her settled back in. She's a lot of horse.
Yes.
She's a lot of horse. She's got a hair trigger, and there's going to be times like that, but he just babied her through it. We've got 2 weeks before we'll see her again, and I'm sure they'll have her prepared when it comes semifinals time.
Well, and these horses, this is their first show, so he's now had 2 official runs on her.
Right.
You learn so much from these horses as you go. So he's going to go back, and that first cow is going to be playing in his head for a while.
Yeah.
He's going to maybe keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And going into the semifinals, he's got some time now, but that's going to weigh on him a little bit, and he's going to have that kind of, he's learned a lot from that run today.
He most definitely did, and you think about a mare versus a gelding versus a stallion in this scenario. The geldings even keel, just rock on there. You know, she may have come in season. There may be a horse bothering her in the barn. There's a lot of things that we take for granted as people sitting in the bleachers that really play into these colts. This is, they're in solitary out there, in Cattle Barn 3 over there where he is, and it happens. And fortunately, he had enough points the first round. He's in great shape, and he'll go back to the drawing board, and she'll certainly be ready to rock and roll come semifinals time.
Yeah, a couple other standouts. Russ Westphal, our good buddy. He had a great showing last year as well. Was one of the top contenders going into the semifinals, and this year's no different. He's got a 440. What did you think about his horse?
Well, that horse is an amazing horse. He's very stylish, Metallic Rebel stud, and belongs to Jerry and Susan Rava out there in Paso Robles. And I believe we had, and I rode one for Russ and advanced it. Colt Moore advanced 2, Russ advanced 1, and for me, the best one didn't advance, his other stud. And Brandon is going to show it in the non-pro. So, we'll maybe have Fiddle and Steel reincarnated kind of a thing. But Russ's horses are cow horses, and they were prepared. And this Just Rebelling is his name, and he's a very stylish horse, and something that he certainly will be there at the end. But Russ's colts were all good, and I think 5 out of 6 advanced in the Open, which is, or 4 out of 5 maybe it was, but that was a pretty good showing
Pretty consistent.
Yes.
And then Sean Flynn, he had a great run today again.
Yeah.
Beautiful horse, sniper.
Yeah.
Pretty legit.
Yeah, very legit, big, pretty roan horse, and this is a horse that I didn't see until we got here. Phil Rapp told me when we were talking about colts and what he'd seen, he says Sean has as complete a horse as Sean has ever had.
Yeah.
And he's big, and he's pretty, and he's low-headed, and he swoops around, and Sean showed him very strong today in the second round. He had a 21 or something and come back with a 19 or an 18 and a half, and didn't get a third cow cut.
No,
I mean, he was, and he certainly won't do that come semifinals time.
He looked like he was having fun again out there.
Yeah, he had a little smile and a little pep in his step, and I'll tell you what, that'll do that. A horse like that gives you so much confidence, but that's a very good horse, and certainly one that we can be thinking about. But, as I sat there today, we've got these top 8 or 10 or 12 that are way up there, but there's another 20. It's a deep group. It's a very deep group. Lindy Thorne's horse, Feeling Dangerous. That horse, I keep going back to that horse. Johnny Mitchell showed a horse tonight and marked a 19, I believe, and had a 14 or something the first round, and he made it on the number, and it looked like a 6-year-old. So there's lots of horses in this mix that we maybe haven't mentioned that are certainly going to be players come semifinals time and finals time.
Yeah, and shout out to the guys we mentioned in the first show, Justin White.
Yep.
He got 2 back. Thomas Bragg, a little hard luck and just missed it on his second one, but he at least got 1 back. And I know he took that a little hard today, but we all know Thomas. Nobody eats, breathes, and lives this sport more than he does, and so at least he gets to come back and do that again. And how about our buddy Tom Shelley?
Tommy, my buddy from home, I'll have a margarita, Metallic Al, homebred right there, and Tom made it on the number. Very tickled for Tommy and making it in there. Of course, Darren Simpkins made it on 2 catch rides, as he usually always does, and our top non-pro, Allie Good, was way up there again, 439, her combined score. Bill Riddle's back in there on the number, 33 and a half, and it's fun to set up there and watch the emotions, setting up there in section X or whatever it is, and watch what plays out. And this is such a roller coaster and such high hopes, but to watch them get showed, it's tickles you to see them really do well.
Well, and this truly is the one show of the year that is the most level playing field, because nobody knows what cards they're holding until they actually get down there, put their hand down underneath the bright lights, and we see a lot of names we may not normally see, or we see people that come to town just for this. We see a lot of catch riders, and we've had catch riders win this with Tony Piggott before and some others. But that's the cool thing about this show, is that you really get to see just the talent comes up from anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't come in here and predict it's going to be these 4 or 5 horses, because like you said, there's some sleepers still down there that we haven't really noticed yet, that unless you're really looking between the lines, may have had a bobble or two.
Right.
We've got some time now to regroup, and these guys have got some time to kind of get these horses collected back up.
Well, and they changed so much between the first and the second round and the second round and the semifinals. I mean, they've got almost 2.5 weeks now, and I would say probably 90% of these horses are going to go to the country. They'll get out of here, they'll get back to their own barn, to their own stalls, and work some fresh cattle in a big pen where the pressure comes off, and they're really going to grow up. They learn how to prepare them. They learn what it takes loping-wise, or maybe a bridle change, or a little different preparation. And this is where the mental game really comes in this. And you think, well, we're just going to go cut. Well, those people that are at the top end, they think their way through this, and they have a good crew at home. And what do those horses need? Maybe they need to go ride in the pasture for a couple days. They don't need to work cows. They need a week off. And that's the biggest part of what sorts out the top end when this thing is all over. Who keeps these horses sharp and wanting to cut through all of this show?
Well, it's a mental game, not just for the riders, but for the horses too.
Yes, very, very much so. And we just can't stress enough most of these horses have never worked the same cow twice in their life, and they've been in town here and been working in the practice pen over in the John Justin, and as we all know, things happen fast over there, and it isn't where you can run in another fresh cow. You got 5 minutes or 4 minutes, and bam, you got to get them worked and trust your training, and so now things just will slow down and go back to a little more foundation and let them travel and relax, and you'll see a great semifinals. It's always exciting, and this is an incredibly, I thought last year's crop was very deep, but I'm not so sure this one isn't deeper. I just really feel like there's a lot of horses that have marked from 34s, 35s, 36, 37 combined that are just as good and maybe had a bobble or two, and you'll certainly see them come semifinals day.
Yeah, no, I can't wait either. But before we get to there, some of these horses are going to have to go again tomorrow. We've got the intermediate finals and the limited finals tomorrow, starting here at 10 a.m. 2 sets in each. That's going to be some great watching there too, and we're going to get to see some dreams come realized there for some people too.
Exactly, a lot of young people in there, or beginner guys, and then there's a lot of people that have rolled back into the intermediate, and it's going to be a very good cutting. It's, like I said, it's an incredibly good group of horses, and a lot of guys have 2 in the intermediate or 2 in the limited. My buddy Tostin Peterson, we're so proud of him. He's got both of his back in the semifinals and in the intermediate. A catch ride for Casey Green, and then a hashtag stud that they've trained themselves and brought. And
that stud's pretty legit.
He's a legit horse, and Tostin has showed him really well. He's just coasted around on him, and that horse has some gears. And I'm really proud of the way he showed him and how anxious to see what's going to happen as he goes forward.
Yeah, and then coming up after tomorrow, we've got the non-pro first go around starting. That's going to be it's fun to watch because we'll get to see a lot of these horses come back in there as well. Now also some of these horses that have made the semis, they're going to those owners are now looking for either other horses to show or scratching or whatever, but I mean a lot of them are just letting the trainers have them.
A lot of slots for sale and a lot of slots looking to be bought, and horses trading and that, I mean, do I show it in the non-pro? It's advanced in the open. What do we do, kind of thing, and so it's going to be interesting to see which ones come back in the non-pro, and a lot of them it doesn't hurt, a lot of them just can't take it, but that's cutting. I mean, that's what these people buy these horses for, is to show them, and I encourage them to get on and go to the herd. I mean, that's what this is about. It's just something about showing at the futurity that gets your blood pumping, and we're excited for the non-pro to start, and
Saturday we've got the World Finals kicking off.
They're coming to town. It's the World Finals horses are coming to town. Our haulers hangout is under construction over there in the water
soft
arena.
Openings,
soft
hard openings.
Yeah,
we've got
exactly.
all kinds of things being talked about back there.
Yeah, got a lot of exciting runs in the weekend stuff. I mean, a few things are wrapped up, but there's a lot of close races, and Saturday night starts the Open and non-pro, and it's going to be good watching. There'll be some dirt flying in the Watt. Yeah, no, and it's going to be fun to watch, and obviously, addressing the elephant in the room, Mr. Open World Champion this year, Metallic's MVP. You've already got it sewn up. How good is that for you to know that already, and to be able to go down there and basically just kind of without the pressure go, take a little victory lap? Well, I can't say it doesn't make me feel good, Mark. That was our goal when we started this year, and he's just been amazing, and I've just been along for the ride. I mean, he's taken me to where we are, and we're excited to show him off these next 4 days. I'm just going to go cut and have a good time, and you know, the thing about this deal, I mean, our spot is secure. But there's 14 other horses, and any one of them 14 could be the Reserve World Champion. That's how close that group of horses is, and it's going to be good watching. I'm very tickled to be in a position I'm in, and it's been a long old year, probably 75,000 miles, and in the truck, and it's been a lot of fun. It's something I've wanted for a long, long time, and I got my hands on it finally.
Got your hands on it.
It's all good.
Well, and like you said, I mean, there's some other races in there. Hayden and I were looking through some of the standings today. There was one, I forgot what class it was, but it comes out like $99 difference between first and second.
And it's Matt Gaines and John Burgess.
That's right.
And the 25,000 novice, they're 90, less than $100 between them, and they have each won over 80,000 in the novice.
That is incredible.
That is an incredible deal. Both of those horses are outstanding. They're working good. Matt helps John. John helps Matt. I mean, it's like the cows are going to decide it. And the 50 am, there are 3 people within $800 in the 50 am.
Wow.
Grayson Cooney, Caitlin Lobby, and Scott Roseman. And they're there. A lot of the classes are decided, but those 2 races especially are tight. The non-pro race between Bonnie Martin and Bobby Williamson. Bonnie's got about 18,000 on her, but as you know, you can win 30. You know, so things are going to change. You know, 4 rounds over there, but it's going to be good watching. And the weekend haulers. This group this year, and I've done it. This is the 4th year in a row we've gone hard. But this has been fun. These people are digging it. They're enjoying it. They're having a good time. And we're going to have a party over there. I mean, it's going to be a big party, and we sure invite everybody that's in town to come and watch it. I mean, the Futurity's great, but if you want to see what these horses turn into, come peek over the fence in the Watt, because the dirt is going to be flying.
The atmosphere in there is incredible. You know, the people cheering for each other, like you said, and helping each other. It's just a fun thing to watch, and it's accumulation of a whole year of hard work. And everybody is there selling, and it's like one big party for everybody, and it's great to watch. So be sure to come down if you're around here. Come down and watch that over in the Watt Arena. We've got a lot more coming up at the Futurity. Too much to talk about here, but it's been a great start so far. The first 9 days, like I said, are in the books. We are now changing gears a little bit, and we're excited to see what comes up next. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you. Perfect. Damn, we need to take this on the road, dude. We're